Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. This week brought to you by I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Chris.
I'm Gus. So the cockblock intro there was new. You hadn't seen that before.
I didn't see that before.
Normally, we only show that before the live broadcast on Monday nights for first members, and it's swapped out because tonight Couch Hop's debuting their podcast after ours, CCTV.
Neato.
So,
And if they ever forget to make their show, we can just stream our security footage. It'll be accurate.
Yeah, that's true. It's CCTV.
There you
Look
go.
at you making the joke.
He went there.
It wasn't a very good joke. And the fact that you linked on it made it even worse.
It made it
So
worse. Yeah, I gotta do that. So I love having Brandon on the podcast.
Oh.
I like it cut to
We're going to
Chris.
start with that?
We're gonna start with it. Like I had other stuff I wanted to talk about, but already Brandon has derailed me. I feel like Brandon and I don't see each other that frequently, but anytime I see Brandon, it's always something fun. I was sitting here. I got here first to the set before we started, and I was going over ad copy and like looking up stuff to talk about. And Brandon comes in. He's like, "Man, our dryer here sucks." Like, what's wrong? He said, "I've had my sweater in there over an hour and it's still wet." I said, "Did you take the lint out? Did you clean the lint trap?" He goes, "I don't know."
I know I did not.
I said, because
I absolutely know I
guarantee
did
you,
not.
If the dryer is not drying, the lint trap is full. We go over there and open it up. It's like overflowing with lint.
No, it's not overflowing.
That
It's like half full.
That can start a fire.
It can start a fire.
Oh, come on. It's not going to start
You're
a
meant to
fire.
change it every time you use it, aren't you?
Are you supposed to do it every single time?
Yes.
Look-
There was enough there, I will say, that it wasn't. That was not just one load worth of lint. That was several loads. People have not been changing that out.
Well, I'm not an engineer. I don't know how many. No, it definitely probably is not. I will say this, though. One, dryer sucks no matter what, even outside of that. But two, like when you open it up, you don't see lint trap.
It's
like
right
every
in front of
no.
you. It says clean lint trap before using. It's like you open it and it's at eye level.
No, it's not. You have to like put your head in and like tilt your eyes down and squint.
Have you ever used a washer or dryer before?
I have. When I open my dryer, it's like, oh, lint trap. But I mean, I rarely ever use this. I just didn't think of it.
So why were you using it today?
Oh, I had to wash this nice hoodie.
So
I don't feel comfortable just wearing a t-shirt, but I am wearing my Brandon 2.0 shirt.
Is that an
Speaking
old
of-
shirt, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
speaking of our merchandise, I saw a piece of our merchandise in a very interesting place out on
Porno.
the internet. No.
Ooh.
So I was watching YouTube last night, and I started watching To Catch a Predator.
Oh, it's a great show.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and I noticed, how they have like decoy, the way it is, they trap child predators, and then they have decoys come in who are pretending to be like underage boys and girls. They're actually like 18, but they're the decoys, right?
Yeah.
One of the decoys was wearing a Rooster Teeth, a Rooster Teeth jacket. There's Chris Hansen.
Is that it?
That's it. That's
How
the
is
screenshot.
that? How is that legal? How did that pass their
I don't-
lawyer?
But that's Chris Hansen about to pop in to stop.
Look,
Do they still make To Catch a Predator? I thought they stopped.
They revamped it. That's like the revamp. It's not actually called To Catch a Predator. Now it's like Hansen versus Predator.
Well, I want to see that movie. Like Alien versus Predator kind of sucked, but Hansen versus Predator would be pretty awesome.
he must get depressed in that line of work, just ruining different people's lives.
He's not
every
ruining
day.
their lives. They're ruining their own
Yeah,
lives.
yeah.
It's
mean,
probably
they're
such
doing
a
all the-
huge power trip, though.
The other alternative is like he's ruining their lives, but whose lives might they have ruined?
I
that
mean,
he's
their
saving?
lives deserve to be ruined, but it's him who has to break the news and see their face and see
It's
all
gotta-
the dread
yeah.
fill their face, and they have to think, I'm
But it's a
done
huge,
with life.
It's a huge power trip, though, because he doesn't force those guys to stay there. He does like some kind of weird, like
Why
pedophile
don't you
mind
sit down
trick,
right- why-
and just says, "Sit
Why
down."
don't you sit down?
And they just sit, and he just chastises them for like 30 minutes.
Well, because they don't know. They probably think like he's a police officer or
A
something.
lot of them, though, at
Yeah.
this point, they know it. They're like, Chris
Hansen.
Hansen, shit.
Yeah, after the first two specials, so many people were like,
Does
"Oh,
anyone-
I watched this show."
Has anyone ever been like, "Oh yeah, I thought this was that.
Yes.
I came here to meet you."
Oh, I don't know if they use that cover, but it's
Like I
definitely
wanted to
like
meet Chris
thought-
Hansen, so of course I did this.
One of the it might have been
They bring a
that
signed
episode.
photo, like a photo frame. Can you sign it? This is the proof. Like, roll this.
Or like what you're doing is entrapment. What I'm doing, I have my own show. It's called To Catch Predator.
So their camera crew comes out, and then your camera crew comes out, and they're just filming each other.
You sit down. It's just like a sit down, like.
Yeah, usually it's like
Sit down, stand up.
he'll come out and be like, take a seat, and they'll talk for like 5 minutes, and then the camera crew comes out, and then all of a sudden they're like,
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah.
It's like
Like, you've already been filmed for like 20 minutes.
Well, I
Yeah.
think a part of it is they know that as soon as they step outside, they're gonna get arrested.
yeah.
So it might be like, well, it's better to stay here. But I think like when they first started, they didn't do that because he cornered this one really weird guy who showed up, took off all his clothes before he even got in the house, and
really crazy.
yeah, he was there to meet a young boy. It's very, very disgusting. So he chewed the guy out, or sorry, bad choice of words. He chastised
blew the guy.
and then they were monitoring the same guy that night online, and they made another appointment with him the next morning at McDonald's to like that guy thought he was gonna meet a underage kid. Like they got him a second
They got
time
him twice.
and they showed up
double
and
dipped.
yeah, he's like, I can't believe you're doing this. This has never happened. And the guy was like, I'm just here for a burger. I'm just here to eat. Oh, that's great TV, Chris. You're right. That's like, I have no idea it was back.
Yeah. I didn't either.
I thought they
until-
were in legal trouble. I thought that's why they had to stop for a while.
Yeah, I guess they worked it out.
But seriously, how did they get past their lawyers to wear one of our sweatshirts?
Okay, that's fine. Do you have a problem with that?
No publicity.
We
bad
had to do that.
publicity.
Like I've had to go through that process before of like, you can't wear anything with another logo when you're doing something.
You got a logo right now?
I know, it's our logo.
Oh, okay.
And it's nice and dry too.
ours
You should
now.
see it when
You could play a 13-year-old boy on To Catch a Predator with that.
So
shit.
can anyone do that? Could any of us bait a pedo?
I think they work with law enforcement.
Right.
So you'd have to have like that law enforcement permission.
Be a good RT life. Like 4 of us each try and see who we can
To
get.
see who can catch a predator.
Come in. Like, I got my pedo.
Like, which one of you can act most like a 14-year-old? I'm just playing with my fidget spinner. My parents are out of town.
How would the point system work? Like, let's say we all get somebody.
It's whoever
How do
gets
we
someone fastest.
Who can? It's a race.
Oh, there has to be like certain other like things. Like the older the person, like bonus points. You gotta like Mario Party. You think the game's over, then all those fucking bonus stars comes in.
Right.
We'd have to make.
Well, you get bonus points for following through with it.
Too far, Chris. Too far.
I don't think it was too far. I just think it was deep.
Is there any way we could get screenshots from the video that I took of Gus and I, or even see the video evidence of the
Not that To Catch
dryer?
a Predator.
Do we have
You're
another?
going back to the dryer?
Do we have
Well,
another?
I mean, I'm
beer
saying
opener?
like we can let the
We get a
people
bottle
decide.
opener?
This one's it's got like gum and shit all over it. And it makes the beer taste bad.
You can use my keys.
Is there one? Oh, right there. There's one right there. Thanks. I think Nick was pointing at it.
Wait, how
Right
does
in
that
front of
make it
us.
taast bad, Gavin?
I don't know. Is this
It just like scrapes up against the
goo
lip.
all
I
over
could
it.
see that. So what was I going to say? So we were going back. Now you brought it back to the dryer. So this is your fault. I wish
I get it.
I wish that I could spend a week living with Brandon. I think I could fix so much of your life.
Could you really?
I think so.
You'd stop making him buy grass from California.
Right.
No, that's a no-brainer.
Here it is. Oh, we literally just took this video. It's already ready.
Did you film it at 12 frames a second?
No,
Look at that.
no.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but look how much it holds. It's
Look
like
how much it.
55% full.
But the top part probably doesn't even accept lint.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, the blockers on the bottom half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But how many people
got in
before
my-
me?
it got in my
How
mouth,
many
is what I
people
said there.
before me do you think did not clean that?
That looks like 5 or 6 like dry
That's more than
cycles.
that. That's like 10. It's a communal
That's 10?
washer dryer.
That's a lot.
Notice though, even in that video, you could not see where the little sign was to empty the lint roll.
It went by too fast.
I think we started after. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You could. Well, it's not a good angle for it. It's like from the side.
Oh,
it's not
so
like,
wait.
It's not POV.
It's not on the ground. It's on top of the.
right. You don't even have to bend down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do. You gotta
See, that's like-
get in there.
I assume most people have those on the floor, so they look down at that angle. But if it's at head height, then you might not look down on that text.
No, you gotta
know.
get you gotta get your head in there and just really. It's like muff diving, but with
My-
lint diving.
My cat loves being in the dryer, and it terrifies me. It will just sit in there after a load, and I'm like, if I ever just don't check that there's a cat in there before I start it, that would be awful.
Yeah.
There's
There's
no-
How long would it take you to figure that out?
well.
Oh, I'd probably not until it's done.
The cat will probably let you know right away.
Would it?
Well, I have a
unless,
true- I
unless
have a true
it
story. I have
immediately
a
hits
true
its
story. I have
head
a true
and
story.
passes out.
I like Chris raises his hand.
My mom had a cat when she was growing up, her family, and they were doing laundry one day,
Oh,
and they're
God.
like, "Man, is someone drying their tennis shoes?" It's that clumping, clunk, tunk, 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 tunk,
Oh
tunk.
God.
They open up the dryer. The cat was dry, very dry, and dead.
Jesus.
So it's like
How long was it in there? Did
I
she
don't
say?
know. I mean, long enough. I mean, I don't.
That was dry and dead.
That's terrible.
It's like a
That-
thing where it's like I remember like Christmas it got brought up and like my aunt started crying just because thinking of the memory of like opening up the dryer.
That's got to be. Yeah, that's traumatic, man. That
Yeah.
sucks. God, that's
I
shitty.
wouldn't be able to get the cat out. I think I would just close
You'd
the
ha-
dryer and sell it. Well, I wouldn't sell it. I'd like, throw it out. Or, like, I wouldn't be able to extract the cat.
For sale. Super cheap dryer.
I will pay you to take
Comes
it.
with cat.
Very dry cat.
Can a ghost like haunt an appliance? Are there
no,
theories
because
about
ghosts
that?
don't exist.
No,
but,
I know, but the people who believe in ghosts, I don't believe in ghosts. I'm just saying, is that a
Well,
thing?
That's you saying if people believe in ghosts, does this apply? Then yeah, I mean, people will believe anything.
Yeah, but some people, I think there are people who could believe in ghosts that would say, no, that could never happen.
There will just be people who say it would happen.
yeah, it's all nonsense.
You could just replace the sentence with X and yes.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough, fine.
Speaking of ghosts, I rewatched The Sixth Sense this weekend.
And hold up.
Were you surprised at the end?
I was really surprised. I don't think I've
Oh God!
Oh,
What, did it
that's
spill?
bad.
How did that spill? It was just in your lap.
No,
Paper towels.
thanks.
Patrick's already got them.
Oh,
Hit the light. It held up really well. I'm getting.
It's a good movie.
God damn it. I don't think I'd seen it.
Oh God,
There you go.
that was a
I
lot.
don't think I'd seen it since it came out in the theater. Maybe I saw it like on DVD when it first came out on DVD 19 years ago now. But man, that movie holds up. That movie's still really good. Esther had not seen it. And she was like, oh, but I already know, big deal, right? You know, Bruce Willis is dead the whole time or whatever. I was like, well, there's really a lot more to it. And then, we watched it at the end. She's like, wow, yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
It does a really good job of exploring that kind of stuff. And that I understand some people maybe have never seen it because they know
The twist.
the end, right? That's been spoiled. It's still a good movie. There's still a lot of ways that they approach, a lot of interesting things they do, like talking about ghosts and the possibility of ghosts. And
yeah, and really excellent direction too. Like all the scenes between Bruce Willis and his wife. Like obviously, she
Yeah.
doesn't acknowledge him because he's not real, but it just feels like,
Yeah, they have-
there's something in their marriage. Like you
Right.
feel that tension, and it's so well done, and it just works. Just because it's not the ghost stuff he does well, it's everything else
Yeah.
that makes the ghost thing work. What about Unbreakable? When was the last time you saw
I
Unbreakable?
actually rewatched Unbreakable like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
How was that? Did that hold up?
Yeah, that Unbreakable's a fucking great movie.
Yeah, I really, really, really liked it.
I think
I thought it was
saw-
underrated.
I think I saw that in the theaters. I think Jeff and I went together and saw that in the theater. Fucking gave each other hand jobs the whole time. It was great.
Shyamalan's new movie is supposed to be good too.
Split. Yeah, that was pretty good.
So it's-
I didn't think Split was as good as, Sixth Sense or Unbreakable, but it was still fine. It was a good movie.
Did you see Alien Covenant?
I've not seen Alien Covenant yet. Oh, you saw it, right?
Yeah,
How was
because I went off on Twitter about GoPros and that.
Oh,
Oh, I
right,
saw
right.
that. I agree with that.
I mean, it's just like everyone's like, well, yeah, there's cameras and that. But if I can see technology from the year I'm living in a movie that's supposed to be set in 2104, or
It's
whatever,
just like
Wait,
it's so
what-
distracting.
So what happened there?
So
you
it's
see
100 years in the
GoPros-
future. It would be like seeing a camera from the year 1900.
yeah, I'm like,
in a
why
film
not
today,
give them
or-
iPhones and Apple Watches and stuff?
Right.
It'd be just as weird to see that.
Yeah.
Everything else was so futuristic, and then they had like a Hero 5.
to where
on-
it's like
strapped on the back of
GoPro
it.
obviously sponsored them, like, or
I don't
just
know.
I was
I
like,
think
you
they,
would
like-
think that it's a GoPro. Like they could obviously put a shell around it and make
Yeah,
it look
make
like
it look
something
cool.
else.
Just dress
right.
it so it looks like. Imagine what camera technology is going to be like in 2104. It's going to be ridiculous.
Right.
They might just float behind you. Who
Right.
knows? It wouldn't be a GoPro on a stick with all the mounting, like a screw like that, would it?
So you're imagining like the Mario 64 cloud guy, like some
Yeah,
kind of
like
technology like that.
Yeah,
So
but
you have like
It'd be just a drone that follows
Yeah,
you.
it'd
and
be a
everything.
drone.
like fly size or something. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
I don't know.
Did
It was just really distracting to me.
You know
like I
what-
feel like I shouldn't be able to go out after I've seen a futuristic Ridley Scott movie and buy something that I saw in the movie.
Do you get distracted when you watch older movies that rely on obsolete technology? Like, you ever see the Russell Crowe movie? Not The Informant, The Whistleblower, something to that effect.
I never saw it.
Well, it's like so much of the
Oh, it's
dramatic
Inside Man, right?
Inside Man,
Yeah.
thank you. So much of the dramatic tension are like close-ups on fax machines. And it's so hard not to be distracted by like like ancient technology. and-
So
You
Go
know what
ahead.
movie you should go see when it comes out? It's Baby Driver.
that's coming out soon, right?
Yeah, it's so good.
what movie?
Baby Driver. I saw it at South by.
What's that?
It's the it's like the what's his name from Shaun of the Dead and Edgar Wright. It's a new Edgar Wright movie.
Huh.
It's fucking awesome. It's like what you want out of a Fast and Furious movie or something like that.
I didn't see Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I've never caught it either. What I was going to say.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to step back for a second. So save that thought. We had like a slightly weird roundabout connection to Alien Covenant. When we were in Australia filming the Space Invaders Immersion, we were at the Fox studio filming it in the same soundstage as Alien Covenant.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
They
Like-
were doing
Yeah, like the wall
For
behind.
Space Invaders?
Yeah, the
it was
wall.
that long ago?
Yeah, the wall behind where you guys were, where the aliens were advancing to. On the other side of that wall is where they were filming Alien Covenant.
Why did they film it there?
I don't know. So yeah, I remember because at one point we were on break or something, and I walked outside. I think I was gonna go get like coffee or something, and I bumped into this guy who's a Rooster Teeth fan. I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm wrangling data for Alien Covenant. I've got all these hard drives with the film. Like we're
Holy
it's like
shit.
we're taking it to go process daily." So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
Well, I think they shot Alien. Ridley Scott. He's British.
Yeah.
Right? So I think they shot the first Alien in a soundstage in Britain.
Yeah, it's
With-
probably at Pinewood.
Yeah, and I think there's all those like horror stories about like him versus the crew. Like they both hated each other, and all those.
That was-
But
that
I mean,
was-
it
that
seems
was
like
the
a
second
movie
one.
that's very friendly to
That was
soundstages.
the crew versus Cameron on Aliens.
Oh, did he
Yeah.
shoot it in?
It's
He shot
because
in the UK also.
He shot that movie after Terminator, but it hadn't come out yet in England, so nobody knew James Cameron. And it was like, who's this young schmuck? And everyone was being an asshole to him. Just being normal British crew, stopping for tea time and that. But yeah, he had a rough time. And then after that, I assumed it was fine because Aliens was a wicked movie.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. So did you try to get in the soundstage or?
No, we were working, and they were working. Didn't
They
want
usually
to do
close
anything.
set
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, they would not have been like, yeah, come on in.
Let's check it out.
I wasn't expecting to like Alien Covenant, but I liked it more than Prometheus.
Well, you
That's
said
what I
something
hear.
interesting, right? It made you appreciate Prometheus more.
Yeah, I felt like it almost retroactively made Prometheus better because
I can see
Prometheus to me was like full of gaps and weird decisions, but now it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Did you kind of feel that way about Westworld, like with the finale? Like when I was watching Westworld, I was like, this is okay. And then I saw the finale, I was like, oh, this makes the show so much better now that I understand what it was going for. When I rewatched it a second time, I liked the show way, way more than the first time.
I loved it the whole time. I loved
Really?
it from the first episode, even when like the first scenes where you're watching that repetition the first couple of times going through. I thought like I was hooked right away.
Yeah, I was super. It was the middle that I kind of started.
Are you kidding me? I thought every episode of Westworld was better than the last
Yeah,
episode.
I thought it was
Really?
like it started on 10 and went all the way to 10.
Yeah, it was like every episode was like, how are they going to how are they going to make that better? And the next one was like, oh my god, how the fuck are they
Yeah.
going to top that? Every week was consistently better and better.
That was
Well,
some
did you watch it?
predictable stuff, but
Did you watch
Yeah.
it through a second time?
I have not yet. I'm waiting
should.
until we get closer to a potential second season before I watch it again.
Well, then do that and let me know what you think. So maybe it goes up to 11. I
guess
just feel like after seeing the finale, the show gets better.
I'm actually watching Twin Peaks again because it's back.
Is it good?
Because at the end of Twin Peaks, have you ever seen Twin Peaks?
No.
It's like some crap happens, a lot of crap. And one of the characters says, I'll see you in 25 years.
Oh,
And that
yeah,
was
I
25
heard
years ago.
that.
So now everyone's old. And they're making the same show, and it's so cool. I mean, it's so weird. It's one of the weirdest shows I've ever seen.
I have a habit of just rewatching stuff because I feel like it's so much easier, less of an investment.
You
Like
know
I'm just
you're gonna
rewatching
like
The
it.
Wire again
Yeah.
for like the who knows how many times.
Well, I remember Tarantino joked about it during Kill Bill. He said that he wanted to make Kill Bill Volume 3, but have it be like 20 or 25 years later, where it's Vivica Fox's daughter grown up taking her revenge on Uma Thurman's character. So I wonder if like we'll eventually reach that point where it's been, I mean, shit, it's been at this point 15 almost
years?
15 years
Yeah.
since it came out.
I thought those movies were really underrated. Like I thought they were really, 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 really fantastic. And
I don't think they're underrated.
Well, I don't think people would put it in the same level as like Pulp Fiction for him.
Well, Pulp Fiction's one of the best movies ever.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, I legitimately think as concept, especially as concept films, the first and the second one are like really, really, really amazing.
Yeah.
Like the best pairing of movies that I feel like I've seen.
Because it was part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, but two movies like I mean, in comparison to like movies that just have sequels, Yeah, all right.
I think
Well, and like the 4 other examples of that.
I was gonna say,
No,
well,
it's fair.
in that case, I think they
You're right.
conceived it as like one big film, and then they just cut it.
Yeah, but I mean, thematically though, they're so different. Like, it's not the
yeah.
same like Harry Potter Part 1 and 2 or
Yeah,
Hunger Games Part 1 and 2. Like, one is very much a, kung fu movie.
Yeah.
However you want to classify it, I'm sure people have their own particular way. And the other spaghetti western.
Yeah, I'll admit, the first time I watched Kill Bill Volume 2, I did not like it. 'Cause
Really?
I felt like it dragged too much at the beginning with Michael Madsen's character, like all the Buck stuff. Oh, no, not Buck. What was his name in that? Michael Madsen.
No, I think it was Buck.
Was it? No, I know the other guy
Oh,
was My Name is Buck, and I
no.
like to fuck. That's why I'm getting them confused.
Yeah.
The Michael Madsen character, I thought that part dragged on too long. But then, like, as time's gone on, I've learned to appreciate the second film more and more, and I really like the second one a lot.
Yeah, I mean, from the first second for that, I absolutely loved it.
So I'm getting worse in public. I'm becoming more like you, I think. I had such
Wow. Damn.
Getting better.
That was...
I had this thing. I was at the airport the other day, and
You sound just like me.
yeah. So I went in the lounge to wait because I had lost 2 hours or whatever. Sat down. All the plugs were taken. And I needed to charge my phone. I was like, I guess I'll just pull out my battery that's in my suitcase. I sat down, but the woman next to me had the same battery, and I was like, I don't want to pull mine out because I don't want her to look at it and think for a second that I've grabbed hers and have like a weird interaction. So I just didn't use it. And I was like, I'm just gonna move somewhere else and go.
Yeah.
Oh, but you did get up.
I
and
would've-
move
I
on.
Why should I be worrying about that?
I would have thought that, or I would have thought, I don't want her to talk to me about the battery because it's like a
Yeah.
common thing we share now.
yeah.
Like, those are the two things I would have thought about.
You never like just starting random conversations with strangers?
no, especially not in
'Cause
an airport.
It's like the best. You're never going to see those people again, especially it's not like starting a random argument with somebody in the same city.
Why'd you want to argue with people?
Not argument, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Conversation.
That's how Brandon talks. It's all argument.
Hey,
Have you spent any time in the new or the expanded terminal at Bush Airport in Houston?
Yes.
The one with like 1,000 iPads
Yes.
that are just lining. That's amazing.
That's how
It's
Newark
genius.
is. I was talking about
Really?
that a few months ago on this podcast. You don't have to talk to anybody. You can just like put your order in and the food comes out. It's great.
Oh, they bring it food to the concourse?
Yeah, I guess you just saw it. You didn't use it.
Well, no, I'm just talking about like you're there at your gate, and instead of just sitting in a bunch of rows, there's all these counters with like a bunch of iPads.
Yeah, you can order food or drinks at them.
Oh, I
and
knew
then
that.
they'll
Yeah.
bring it
what were
out
you
to
doing
you.
with them?
Huh?
What were you doing with the iPads?
Well, we didn't have time, but I just assumed people just sat there and just surfed the internet on it.
Oh,
Like anything that's not, private, if you're just like dicking around, just use that. Like it's just genius. And I was just like,
I
there's-
flew Virgin for the first time, and I didn't realize you can order food from the screen
Oh.
if you're in like some select where you get free food. So I was like, that one. They brought it within like 40 seconds.
It's like that conveyor belt sushi place. Have you been
Yeah.
there yet? The
Oh,
same
I-
thing?
I-
Oh, there's one in
haven't,
Austin
but-
now?
Yeah, Bernie was telling me about it.
Everyone's talking about it. I want to go.
It's like over at Airport in Lamar. So they've got like the conveyor belt with all the sushi that runs around throughout the entire restaurant. Or if you want, there's like a tablet there, and you can like order sushi, and it comes out on a separate conveyor belt that goes like, whoop, it just zips right to your table and stops.
But what if you get stuck at the end of the conveyor belt?
Nothing.
What do you mean?
Like if you're, it's like basically
I
everybody
see what
else
you're
is
saying. Everybody else
always
gets first
gone,
pick.
and you're just
Then
kind
you
of
can
like,
order off the express conveyor belt.
Oh,
You can still
okay.
order the same stuff or order additional things.
Chris, I think I sent this video to you. I don't know if you guys saw it. Elon Musk released this like conceptual video of a like transportation system using his tunnels or whatever, and it's kind of similar to what you're talking about. Like you park your car on like this like tray basically, and the tray goes underground and then just like zooms like through underground tunnels and takes you to like some other like random place, and it's just
I assume it goes to a place you want and not another random
fair enough,
place.
fair enough. Yeah,
I'm going to get in the tunnel. We'll see where I end up.
I do it. I do it
Hop
just
in
for
the
the
bus.
experience.
Cool. You'd be like,
Randomize.
yeah. It's like, where do I want to visit today? I don't know.
I do it for the experience. But yeah,
Los
it's-
Angeles, here I come. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things just to be like, hey, look, I started a new company that makes
I
tunnels.
just don't
like,
see the point. It's just cars driving on trays.
But
well,
if-
it's
No. But
it's
but here's-
efficient. Like it's an automatic navigational system. Like,
like there's no lane changing or anything. Like imagine if all the cars there are going 200 miles an hour or something, and it's all coordinated. You don't have to worry about braking.
Yeah,
It's like-
can you imagine being stuck down there though if it all broke down? Or
Oh,
like there was a
sucks.
fire.
Oh,
Everyone would
124
suffocate.
miles an hour.
it's essentially the same thing as a subway, except you don't have to sit next to other random people.
I'm so
then-
confused by it.
I love it.
It's like a barge for your car.
A barge
You know,
for
like
your
you
car.
get you
Yeah.
want to take your car somewhere else. You don't want to have to drive it over the river.
So does it only work with Teslas?
I think theoretically it would work with anything.
Like if you park on it and it drops down, but your car's too big and it's just hanging over the hole.
Or it's like you don't get a solid lock and the whole ride your car's just kind of jittery. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to die. It's like the worst
I
trip
feel like it
ever.
just puts too much in the hands of the driver to get right, that it's just not going to go right. There's going to be like someone with a couch on the top of their car.
Someone
trying to go
could
down
be
there.
like,
Yeah.
oh, they're having an emergency and they like fuck it up for everyone. Like they have to pee, and then and I
In
don't
the
know.
future, there'll be a pee hole in your car.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I don't know why that's not already there now.
Well, because theoretically, you have to drive.
Is it littering
you don't have to
piss on the
drive.
street? Like if you did hook some sort of funnel to your knob hole and then you just piss through the bottom of your car, is that illegal? Would the spray of piss on the cars behind you make it illegal?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you're not to throw urine out into the
I
road.
peed in a car before.
In a bottle?
Yeah, I remember when I
Were
was
you
a kid.
driving?
No,
Oh.
when I was a kid, we were on a road trip or something, and I was like, "Mom, I have to pee," and she was like, "We're stuck in traffic. There's like, we're not going anywhere," and I'm like, "I have to pee," and she was like, hands me a bottle, and I'm like, "All right."
How do you get it in, without spraying everywhere?
I don't know. I figured it
Foreskin,
out.
baby.
Yeah,
Did you just thumb the whole penis in the hole?
I didn't do that. I just put the head on the tip of the bottle and just like held it.
What kind of bottle was it?
Might have been a Gatorade bottle. I feel like.
Oh, so you got a big hole.
yeah, it
then.
was a big hole,
Yeah.
and I didn't like stick it all in. And
Would you be afraid though if you stuck it all in and then I don't know, for whatever reason you started to get horny? And you're just like stuck
I was
in
like
there.
5,
No one's
dude.
horny
You
while they're
know, like
taking
I don't know, guys. My dick's near a hole.
No, I don't know. What if
no, that
somebody says something or you see something? I don't know,
well, one. I didn't.
fast do you
Someone
get an
says
erection?
something.
How
Tits, tits, Brandon tits.
How fast do you go from flaccid to fully erect, Brandon?
Well, at this age, not very fast, but if I was like 13, when you're that age, it's
Yeah.
just like nonstop.
I mean, well, one.
It's like
This is
your sexual
before I didn't
peak
even
as a
know what
man.
an erection really meant. To me, it was just something that my penis did that was weird every once in a while.
But when you were like 4,
Yeah, when I was like a kid, I didn't know what
Yeah.
it was. It was just like every once in a while, my penis is this weird thing where it gets big and hard. And I don't know why.
You're like, man, I have a huge penis.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like it was a thing that happened. I genuinely didn't know what it was.
You were getting erections at 4?
I don't know.
well, kids get them.
Yeah, I didn't happen. It wasn't like I was like horny all the time like Brandon. Apparently, jerking off into Gatorade bottles.
Well, it's
We're getting
crazy.
aroused by Gatorade bottles. There's a difference, Chris.
It's crazy now because you can go to Wikipedia and just like search ejaculation, and there's literally a GIF of a penis ejaculating.
Are you serious?
Like when we were growing up, you didn't know anything. You just kind of like had to learn casually or through the grapevine or with movies or stuff. Like I remember somebody said, I remember being in school and some kid bragged about getting a blowjob. I remember being like, "Oh, that's awesome," but thinking, "What is that?" And it's like to this day I don't know how I learned about it.
It's like,
I thought you were going to say something totally different.
To this day, I don't know what a blowjob is.
Wikipedia is going to teach me.
I feel like I was always slightly misled by the size of sperm when I was learning about them.
Yeah, you always thought they were bigger. Like
Yeah, like you could see one.
you're like, oh, look at that.
Like a sea monkey.
Or like a tadpole is what I would think.
Yeah, a
Oh.
bunch of tiny poles.
That'd be how crazy would it be if when you finished having sex when you're coming, tadpoles are shooting out of your dick.
Oh, God.
Like the size of actual tadpoles are like
Oh.
jumping.
You'd feel the bulge as they came
I know
out.
it'd be like
A let us spawn.
What if they made a noise? Like they popped out.
Like you can audibly
and then-
count them.
and the girl stands up and all these tadpoles are popping like blub 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 blub.
Flopping around everywhere.
Chris,
Yeah, but I mean, in
Chris
that case, you
entertaining
just
himself.
like splooge in an aquarium, and then just probably just start swimming everywhere.
Trying to grow a baby.
really got to do an ad read at some point.
Have you seen? There's this video I might have brought it on the podcast before of what it looks like when sperm go through like a woman's body, like through the uterus, and like it's just like a minefield. It reminds me of everything I've read about World War One.
Yeah,
But,
it's like a
way
miracle that any
worse.
of them make it.
Yeah,
That's why you have to produce so many.
yeah. Like
'Cause
Chris,
the body just tries to kill him.
Yeah, do you remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game, the one that was impossible? You remember in the water level with all those like tentacles that kill you? They even have those. They just like, and it like just grabs your tail and just like, just
because they want
you
the
down.
strong. It's like the best one. The strong survive. It's like they got to make it through the gauntlet.
How did we get through?
I've said for a while. It's like you go and celebrate your birthday, right? When you were born, but like you didn't do anything when you were born. It's like what you should be celebrating is 9 months from your birthday when you like made it.
When you made the impossible mission?
Yeah, when you passed the gauntlet.
Yeah, everything else is just congratulations for not dying yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think I read that essentially to be alive, like you've won the lottery already. Like when all odds considered.
Yeah, you're right.
And you're right. Like it's not a day, it's not an event that we celebrate at all. Just because mainly we don't want to think about our parents fucking.
Yeah.
So how many people have lived?
I think most people who lived are alive right now. Like I think it's a relatively small number.
But it's more than the current population.
Yes, of course.
But like,
And there
yeah,
was
it's like
certain-
it's a huge. It's like the number of people in the history in the past was like tiny compared to now.
I wonder if you could figure out how much jizz has jizzed, or how many little sperms, because you come from a hefty pool of one time, where all of you went in, and then you got to think how many times has that?
How many sperm have been made? Is what
Yeah,
you're asking.
like how
in
many
the world, in all history?
Earth sperm have ever
Earth
been
sperm?
made?
Well, it's not easy because like it hasn't really been a gradual like constant increase in population. Like there have been certain like things that have happened that created like exponential growth in population, like
medicine.
farming.
Yeah.
Like when we learned how to farm.
But
it was
even
like-
still, though, I mean, you think, well, yeah, you're right, Gus, because it's like you think about the lottery, like even just in one, load, there's millions of sperm, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But then, how many loads are there in your like that actually get into a vagina? Like most loads don't. They most just go into like some tissue.
Well, it's like that.
like
It was like that bill that somebody proposed in the Texas legislature. I think you tweeted about it, right?
Oh.
Like imposing a fine every time a guy jerks off and it's not inside a woman.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, because you're not allowing the sperm. It was a,
I really thought
know.
we were going to get to that ad read at some point.
Okay, just look up how many sperms have existed, and then
Okay.
we'll get right.
So
on to it.
we're doing a little bit of math here, right? So
What is?
So I've according to the BBC article I just read, there's no way to know how many humans have existed over all time, but
Okay.
the estimate is somewhere around 15 billion.
Okay.
15,
only
that's it?
15 billion?
15 billion.
Well,
I
I
would have
mean,
guessed 60.
The population goes. It goes.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
but I
yeah.
still would have guessed more than 15 billion.
So, and here's a little graph actually to highlight what what Gavin was just saying about how population
Yeah.
explodes. This is from 1500 to today.
Yeah.
So if there's 15 billion times, so it's every load is between 2 to 5 milliliters. So what do you want to estimate that at?
How many?
3?
How many?
Oh, how you want to go by the number? You want to go by? I thought you want to go by
Sperm.
volume.
No, how many sperm?
The tough thing though is you also have to factor in the expected life expectancy too
but
over
if the s-
time, because the longer someone's alive, the more.
We're just going to go with the number of people, and then
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
So you got to half that number for.
So
for
in
dudes.
each milliliter, there's 100 million. So if we do 3 milliliters, that's 300 million.
300 million per
load.
load.
Yeah. So we'll assume one load per person. 15 billion times 300 million,
Well, no, because women don't have sperm.
Oh, good.
but they were all conceived.
Wait,
Sperm had to have created the woman.
from a dick, which only half those people have,
Right, but her father had a dick.
right?
So
we're
every
counting his
human
jizzes.
every human had a jizz that made them. Is what I'm
Right.
getting at. So you have to multiply it by the whole number.
Okay, so we're just talking about the people making.
Yes,
jizzes.
the people making jizz.
Okay,
Oh,
and then we'll
okay.
take that.
The number's already too big for my calculator here.
Wouldn't it be easier to
using-
think about
well,
to
you're
estimate
using-
how many men have lived?
I hope
then
someone
just go from
listening
there, like-
will break this down for us.
Someone will.
It's gotta be like
Hashtag RT podcast.
to the power of 70.
It even Google calculator.
4.5 to the power of 18.
Yeah. So 4.
And that's just the offspring producing jizzes
Correct.
of all time.
Yes.
And
Wait, so then just find out the average life and do 1 jizz per day on average.
Yeah,
I'm not doing this math anymore.
Yeah, but
no.
because that's what I want to know. I want to know, like, and say someone has 2 kids, like on average 2 or 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
And that's split between 2 people, right? So, like, yeah, that's a lot of sperm per person that get wasted.
Well, how much sperm do you feel like you've wasted in your life?
Billions.
Well, if every load is 300 million, you jerk off 4 times and you already wasted billions.
On average, how often do you jerk off a week?
Brandon, everyone on Twitter's bitching about your hoodie string.
It's like going into your neck,
Oh, okay.
like a feeding tube.
Thank God.
Have you wasted a quadrillion sperm? Do you
I'm
think?
sure.
So let's say how old you were. Maybe
no doubt.
you've been doing it for what? Maybe like
Since I was
18
11.
years.
Since I was 10 or 11.
So we'll say 19
started.
years.
10.
10 or 11.
What were you doing at 10? How did you even know what to do with it?
I read it in a book.
So on average,
What book did you read?
You went to the library.
Some book.
What book?
It was
that
like
actually instructed
It was like
jizzing?
no, it wasn't like a how-to book.
Oh.
Like how to jerk off.
Was it a
It
naughty
was
book?
it was like a what did you call those books that they used-
Textbook.
Encyclopedia?
encyclopedia. It was an encyclopedia, and I was looking up sex and stuff, and as one does when they're like 10 or 11, and then I read about masturbation. I'm like, I think I could do that. I'm gonna give that a shot. So I had no. It was not. I just like took out my penis and I just started like rubbing it until something happened.
Did anything happen at 10? Or was it just like,
It was it was a blank, but
it was a.
You know, Chris, speaking of books, I want to say thanks to Audible for supporting this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast. I had a really embarrassing moment where I think it was on Saturday. I went to the bathroom and I like dropped my pants and I realized I had my underwear on backwards.
oh, yeah, I saw you tweet about that.
I had my underwear backwards on all morning long. And I remember when I got out of the shower, I put my underwear on. And it was like it was a new pair of underwear. I'd never worn them before. I put the underwear on. I was like, oh, these underwear feel kind of weird. Like they don't feel super comfortable, but didn't even give it a second thought. Like 3 or 4 hours later, I'm like, oh, well, that explains
Did you get dressed in the dark?
No. I have no idea why I did it.
are you on boxer briefs?
Yeah.
I've done it before. I put my pants on backwards before. Yeah.
Pants?
How does that work?
I assume you realize it when you go to like button it.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
zip
I
it
think
up.
it's also some of it's like if it's like pajama pants, like they're pretty like.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not real.
But
freaking bad
but if
on
you put those on backwards with your if you've taken them off with your underwears and then you put them back on and you put them on backwards, then you feel it. It's weird.
Did you ever have those like pajamas or whatever that opened up in the bottom? Like they had a little flap? The butt?
No.
All right.
In the butt?
Yeah.
For pooing?
Yeah, you just don't got to take. I mean, if it's really cold, just go
I think
in.
I think that goes back to more like the outhouse days.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. So, Patrick, did you do this math, Patrick, or did someone else do this? Yeah. Patrick did the math. Jacking off once a day for 19 years would raise 12,707,200,000,000 sperm. So there's your answer.
And that's a low estimate because that's only once a day.
who masturbates once a day? That's a lot of.
I do it sometimes a lot more than once.
Well, yeah, but like on average though.
At least once.
Really?
Chris likes to.
You ever like if you have nothing to do on like a random like weekend, it's just bored. You just do it out of boredom.
Yeah.
The busier you are, the less you do it.
Exactly. But like it's generally like
So you're not very busy.
I'm busy enough.
Doesn't sound like it, Chris.
No. It's also like it's like a end of the day stress relief, going to sleep kind of thing.
Are you at all curious what your sperm count is?
No. Well,
Really?
apparently it's how many?
Well, no. I mean, like everyone is different. Like you could have an abnormally low sperm count.
I don't know. It hasn't been an issue
I don't know how
yet.
much it is to get one of those tests.
We should have an RT Life where it's a contest to see who's the most fertile.
It would get so real though when someone's like.
We should
barely
combine
scraping
that
by.
with the pedophile to catch a predator.
I read a story in the Statesman this morning about a state employee who was busted for having pedophilia on his computer at work.
Mhm.
And the way they caught him was he copied his child porn to a shared network drive.
Oh my god.
What?
And he was like, he claimed that he was trying to delete it. So he must have copied it there by accident.
Was it like cloud based?
I don't know. They don't give all of those details. But I'm glad they caught him. I was like, what the like
Oh, his excuse. Oh, sorry, I was just trying to
I was
delete
trying
it.
to delete it.
I was trying to help.
I was trying to get it off the internet.
He just went through like spring cleaning on his desktop, trying to move stuff around.
So fucked up.
God, some people.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. I don't know where to go from there. So
We've
did you
covered
see
sperm.
what?
We've covered sperm.
Yeah, we covered Sperm. We're done. That's done. Did you see? So they had the season finale of SNL this past weekend, and there had a lot of people leaving. It turns out it was Bobby Moynihan, Vanessa Bayer, and Sashir Zamata was also leaving.
I didn't hear about her.
She didn't. I don't think she announced till after the episode was done.
Yeah, and she wasn't even on the farewell sketch either.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know what happened. I don't know if she decided not to come back or what's going on there.
Well, I think, as I understand it, everybody has 7-year contracts unless they fire you. That's why Vanessa Bayer's leaving
after
7 years, and like you see that a lot. A lot of people who leave SNL, it's after that 7-year mark because
Why do they want to sign a 7-year contract?
you want to be on SNL.
It's SNL.
It's leverage, you know. So like they don't want you to sign up and then get famous and leave. I'm sorry, Gus.
to Eddie Murphy it.
Yeah, to Eddie Murphy. It.
No, I was just gonna talk about that and about the weirdo musical performance that Katy Perry put on.
Oh, in the bathtub or something?
No, well, on one of them she was like
I fast
at
forwarded
a dinner
through it. It
party.
was weird.
Did you see the Backpack Kid?
Which backpack kid?
Like one of them was like a weirdo fashion show, and this kid came out like he was strutting down a runway wearing a backpack. Then he started doing this weird dance with his hands where he was like putting one in front of him and one behind him. You didn't see this?
Now I fast forwarded through. I'm not buying what Katy Perry's doing right now.
I wasn't.
I get what she's going for. I'm just like, nah, I'm not buying it.
What do
You're
you
not-
mean you're not buying it?
You know, she's trying to do a whole new image, whole new appeal, but it's a little weird and
Oh, here it is. Is that gonna play? Nope, that's a static image.
oh, that's just super, super weird.
It's just like
Is
a
that-
super weird avant-garde kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that her suit looked like Beetlejuice.
I was about to say, it's like,
the
why
whole
is she dressed
time.
up like Beetlejuice?
Well, even like the Miley Cyrus, I forget who she performed with at the MTV Awards, the one that was like super.
Oh, it was Robin Thicke, right?
Yeah, so it's like she already looks the same look as what she was doing, and then that doesn't help. But it just feels too fake and manufactured. I'm sorry, Katie. Maybe it's all authentic.
I don't think
but
she's
I'm
listening.
not buying it.
What? How
It's not trying to
buying it,
hate.
though? It's like it's not for you to buy. It's just that's what she's doing.
I know. I mean, I'm not saying she's obligated to have me approve. I'm just saying like,
But how
I
is
don't
it
dig
different to what she did before?
I mean, it just seems like a huge meeting with her PR team. All right, we're going to try something completely different. It just doesn't feel like authentic and real. Miley Cyrus did a 180, but she was pretty young. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I buy it. But Katy Perry reinventing herself in this way at this stage in her career, to me, it feels a little manufactured and
Do you
fake.
think she's just worried about falling off? Like Gaga's not as popular as she was.
I think everyone worries about falling off, right? I think once you get popular, once you become famous, like
How
you
do
don't
you-
ever want to be less famous.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you ride the wave?
I think you got to get
And
to
say
Vegas,
the
man.
word wave.
You see, right? The rave.
Yeah. I meant to say wave.
Yeah, like it just makes me think about that time I saw Virgil at San Diego Comic-Con, and the guy looks at him and goes, I remember you. You used to be famous. Like nobody wants to have that
Wait,
conversation.
Virgil? Who did you?
Virgil, the wrestler, the old WWF wrestler, or he was the $1 Million Man's sidekick.
Oh yeah, I think he became Vincent in WCW. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
no one ever wants to do that or have that conversation.
Yeah, it's rough for those
So
guys.
I mean,
to
you
do.
got to reinvent yourself, and you got to do new stuff. And
I agree. This to me though, it just feels. I'm not saying people can't reinvent itself. This to me just feels super forced, and I don't know. It's just hard to buy that this is really like her natural thing. And I get it. That's
do
part of the industry.
do you think the other thing was her natural thing though? I'm
Her
sure that
shows
was
were, like,
manufactured. and
insane.
Huh?
Yeah, like all of her live shows were like some of the biggest live performances. Like all this crazy crap.
yeah, when she did the Super Bowl, she had that thing where she was like floating on that wire above everybody.
She had those
Then the shark,
sharks.
left shark.
What was this? I didn't see it. Katy Perry?
Yeah, the Super Bowl like 2 years ago.
I don't remember.
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
remember Left Shark?
That's the only thing I remember about that Super Bowl.
So what are you gonna do to reinvent yourself?
Drink more.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not terribly concerned with reinventing. I'm happy where I am.
Well, that's important.
But,
Can't improve
yeah.
perfection.
You should ride that rave as long as you can.
So I think SNL, it was like their highest rated season in like 23 or 25 years.
Yeah, I
Is
bet.
Keenan still on it?
Yes.
Yeah, Keenan's
I think
still
he's
on
the
it.
longest running cast member ever.
Did he pass like Daryl Hammond? I think Daryl Hammond was.
Oh, maybe it's Daryl Hammond.
It's close.
I'm looking for a left shark for Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much material. I mean, really, like, oh, let's see this.
I don't know if we can play this. It might get us taken down. But it's like they have this choreographed thing, and I think this one doesn't remember what he's supposed to be doing. You can see it over there, and he just starts kind of fucking around.
Yeah, no, see, this I buy. This I like.
Yeah,
It's,
but
it's the whole like
because
shave
this is
head, like
totally
blonde
normal.
hair, like that to me. That
You just
to me
don't
is what
like.
feels.
You just don't like a
just don't like
haircut.
the look.
No,
What
it's
I'm-
not just the
What I'm saying is
haircut.
that's not necessarily her either. That's also just a manufactured image.
I know. I understand that. It's not the fact that people can't have manufactured images.
You said your big contention was that it didn't feel authentic.
Yeah, it didn't. Like, you could still have a manufactured change that still feels authentic. This, to me, like what you're doing right now, feels like too off the wall, too random, not buying it. I mean, like, I'm sure, like, all of the huge image changes are huge, forced and, like, manufactured, but, like, a lot of them are more, like, believable and, like, I get it and I'll look past it. But I don't know. What I saw on SNL, I'm just like, oh, this is, I don't know. I'm not doing this.
Gus, what's the most fake thing you've ever done?
Most fake thing I've ever done.
Yeah, where you're like, I don't.
In the early days of Red versus Blue, I don't think you can find these videos anymore. Whenever we had to do like a paid corporate thing, Bernie always gave me like the shilliest ad copyist lines ever that I had to deliver. Like it was me or like Simmons, and I fucking hated it. It was always that stuff where I'd get a script, everyone has normal dialogue, and then it's me for 10 minutes talking about some bullshit corporate thing. I'm like, oh my god, why do I have to do this?
I think it's because you get through dialogue very quickly.
No, it was punishment. Is what it was. It's because I was
For what?
Because that's when I lived in Puerto Rico.
Oh.
So he would
So you'd be like listing off like people's new 401k options.
whatever. Yeah. Like god damn it, I got to read all this stupid shit, like huge paragraphs of text.
Did he ever try to lure you in with a promise of being on a cover? Simmons being on a DVD cover?
No. I mean, well, and that was so early that all we had done by that point was like the season 1 DVD, and there was no one on that cover.
Oh, okay.
And then season 2, which came a year later, was Doc. But even the first cover, like the original cover for season 2,
black with like the Cockbite logo or something.
No, that was season 1. The season 2 cover, it was very faint. Like you really had to struggle to see that Doc was on it.
That was like a reprint that made him.
Right. Like we wanted it to be very subtle, where you really couldn't see that there was a character on there. So in the early days, we never really wanted like any one character to be on the cover or like a focus. Obviously, that stuff changes.
Guess
down
which
the road.
version of season 2 I have?
You have the original one.
Yeah.
I know you do. I personally packed yours.
And you signed it too.
I remember it. I put yours in the envelope and I filled out that fucking little customs declaration. You remember that little green and white tag that had to go on the fucking
Well, I remember
envelope?
because they wouldn't deliver it to my house until I went to the post office and paid the VAT on it. So each one cost me more when it arrived.
That sucks.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about that. I know people complain about that still sometimes when we like ship merchandise overseas.
Yeah.
It's like that's just
Each country's different.
each country. Yeah. Sometimes they'll take money for it.
That's why I used to order in bulk just so I could pay all the import in one go and not have to keep going to the post office.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, we learned a lot about international shipping back then. I don't think I'd ever had to deal with any of that before.
No, why would you?
Yeah, why would I? I never fucking sent anything to the UK. God, we used to have to go. They had those little green and white international customs forms that we'd have to affix to every fucking envelope. And the post office never had very many of them. And they would get mad when you take them all. And we needed like hundreds. We needed
So you
thousands
couldn't
of them.
just print them?
No. There's like a specific form because they're adhesive.
Mm.
Yeah, but just buy glue.
You had to use theirs.
Oh,
It
yeah?
was the way it worked at the time. I think now you can do it a different way. But at the time you had to go, and I'd have to like try to take all of them that the post office had without the postal employees noticing that I was taking all of them.
Just replace them like Indeed, just be like with someone else.
But they would get mad if you took them all. So I'd have to like slowly. It was like I was stealing, but I wasn't because it's free and I'm actually using them to mail
Well, I
something.
feel like free stuff at some point it becomes stealing if you're getting too many.
But I'm using it. It's not like I was taking it and using it for something else. Like I was using it for its intended purpose.
But if it puts the company in a position of
It's not a company. It's a post office.
Yeah, he's right.
Like, what if I
He
went,
has to use them in
Right.
order.
It is their rule that is requiring me to use them,
What
but they're
if I
not
went
wanting me to
to-
take them.
What if I went into HEB and took all the bags?
But the bags cost.
They do now, don't
Yeah.
they? Everywhere.
Yep.
And,
If
and
it
it would
didn't
be like
cost,
it'd be
how
like
could-
going to the grocery store and buying all the groceries, where it's like, well, we don't have any more apples. Like, but I gotta sell all. I gotta make a lot of pie.
Yeah.
You know. Or, but you're using the apples.
Right,
But
you-
they'd get mad. Like, you can't buy that many apples. Like, why?
Right.
There's no grocery store that would stop you from buying anything.
I bet it would happen if you
think
walked
so?
in and
They'd
started
be-
unloading like every crate of apples into your cart. I'm sure someone would come by like, yo, well, you can't do that.
You can't buy that many apples. You need to go wholesale.
Right. That's
Maybe.
what they'll tell you.
Do you think we could do a video where we like assign budget to a video, but we use the budget just to buy the entire shop? Like go into a very small like family-run store,
And buy everything.
buy everything, and like completely empty all the shelves,
Like go to a flag store
and then just give it
buy-
back to them.
No, what if you bought everything, then opened up a store on the sidewalk in front of their store, selling all of the shit for double the price?
Or just 1 cent more.
Right.
That's when I was going to a flag store and buy like of like really random countries.
When's the last time you went to the flag store? Flag store is a convenience store not too far from the studio. When's the last time you went to the flag store?
I don't know. We've had people go for productions and stuff, but I haven't been.
They changed it.
What do they sell
Really?
there?
It's a convenience store, but they've got like all kinds of stuff. Like it's probably the most well-stocked convenience store I've ever been to. Like whatever you need, they've got it.
Do you count Buc-ee's as a convenience store?
Buc-ee's is a lot bigger. Buc-ee's is almost like supermarket size.
Okay,
This
so
is
it's like for the space,
traditional,
very efficient.
yeah, convenience
I
store.
wonder if they have British chocolate.
They have British crisps.
Ooh.
I like
Some
crisps.
Walkers.
Yes, they do.
Oh, wow, I'm gonna go there.
But they changed it. They're in the process of reorganizing. Like the wine section's gotten a little bigger, and the British crisp section has gotten a little smaller.
Damn it, I missed my window.
So I don't know if your window's gone now, but yeah, I think they changed ownership a couple months ago, and it's weird walking in there now. Things are a little out of sync.
It is fun buying all of something. I had to do that with because I recently did that video with Dan jumping on all those mousetraps.
Yeah.
And I was trying to buy them in bulk to make it as cheap as possible. But then you had to go directly from that company. It was like Victor Mousetraps or something.
Does anyone else make them? Hey, go ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The only one I could find. So the biggest bulk box was 72 mousetraps. And I was like, okay, add to cart. And it was like, you can only buy 3. Because that was the only they had. I was like, damn it. So I would buy 3. I'd have them delivered. I'd wait a couple of months and I'd buy 3
Oh my
more.
God, seriously?
So, to make that video, it took me like 18 months to buy all the mousetraps. Because I would forget and I'd be like, oh, I still need more mousetraps.
They're really crafty too. You can't just make another Amazon account and buy it that way. Like they
it
look
was
at
just
your
like-
they look at your financial
I was just
information and
buying
your shipping
their
address.
whole stock. I was just like emptying their own bulk stock. And now I don't need them anymore.
How many mice do you think lived because they're like, we're all out of mousetraps?
See, you've been buying their whole stock for so long. Prices have gone up. You can now open your own Amazon shop, resell them for a profit.
Dude, some of them I've had for a really long time and they've totally rusted.
Oh,
There was actually one mousetrap on the trampoline that didn't go off because it was so rusty.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it just didn't snap.
weird.
1 out of 1,000 isn't bad though.
Yeah, that's good. Over 18 months. I guess you don't normally put a mousetrap out for 18 months. You don't put
No.
a mousetrap out for a couple days, and it either works or it doesn't.
Maybe it is helping the mice though, because those are the really old sort of metal snap, non-humane traps. So maybe they just. Well, I guess they kept making them
Yeah,
because I
so-
kept buying. them.
What's a humane way to?
Well, the
to
ones
catch
that
a
just
mouse?
trap them and then they just slowly starve to death.
That's
Is that more humane?
I don't know. What's the humane?
I think
humane-
it's like a
poison.
Yeah, and they
Right.
slowly die or
Because sometimes
That sounds terrible too.
No, it's got to be insta-kill. Like,
Yeah, and also if you poison it, then like what if a cat or another animal comes and eats that mouse?
But the thing is with the snap down ones is that it can like partially catch them and then they end up just like
Yeah,
painfully dying.
My argument is there is no humane way. I think
I reckon that the most
and they're
humane way
asleep.
is trap them and then move them.
I know the humane way. You hire a slightly bigger mouse and give him a gun. And tell him only in the back of the head. So stupid.
I read a crazy story. I think it was in Canada. It was this lady had a pet rat and it accidentally ate her heroin. And she went
Of
to
course, she has a
What?
pet rat.
She went to some like animal control, I guess, I don't know, like a vet, and had to get it treated. But at that point, do you open yourself up to
Wait.
prosecution?
How did a rat eat heroin and live?
Uh,
The dose. How?
let me see.
Just a rat just off its tits.
Wait,
on its
hold
back.
on. This
But
is-
can you take heroin orally? I don't know. If you eat heroin, does it work?
It can't be great.
I mean, it could fuck you up and kill you.
What you're
Just
saying
has
is
to-
maybe it's less effective. and
Yeah,
that's
it
why
may
he was
not
able
be
to eat.
like because it's normally what you inject it, right? Or
Let's
you
see.
smoke it.
On Sunday, the rat named Snuggles accidentally ingested some heroin that was left out on a table by a woman in Vancouver. The woman brought a very sick Snuggles to an overdose prevention site in hopes of keeping the animal alive. I'm assuming that's for
took
humans.
It to like a drug place.
Yeah.
Not the vet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they were able to figure it out and save it. But I
There's
mean,
a
at what
picture
point
of a
did
rat lying on its side, off its ass?
Let me see if
I-
I can send this to broadcast.
On last time I was on the podcast, I talked a lot about getting a pet pig.
Oh yeah.
I found there's a breeder in Texas. I called this weekend
Oh God.
and I had a long conversation with them. They said I shouldn't get a pig.
Because it's high maintenance.
Well, they said I needed a house with a yard.
So you just have an apartment.
Yeah.
You could buy some grass from California.
Yeah. No, it works.
I
don't
could
know why you
start
guys
sodding
don't
up
do
still-
it.
my.
you
I
don't
could
still do
sod
that, do
out
you?
my
Yeah, I still do it.
place.
You know, the company was on that Mark Cuban show, and they invested in
I
it.
just.
Do you mean Shark Tank? I wouldn't call that the Mark Cuban show.
Well, I couldn't remember the name, but I said Mark Cuban show, and you immediately knew what I was talking about.
That's the only thing he's on.
Yeah. So it was a good way to classify a show that you can't remember. Oh, there we go.
Oh, this Snuggles, the
Did he live?
Yeah.
smacked up rat.
The rat survives heroin overdose. So I guess so.
What a cute little rat.
What do you think that rat's thinking?
I shouldn't have eaten the whole thing.
Yeah. I
Uh,
gotta pace myself next time.
Let me read this thing here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by. Let's read that one again. Asparagus and summer squash curry with ginger lime peanuts. That sounds really good. I might make that tomorrow.
Can you make some for me?
No.
Why don't we
sorry.
do a lovely video where I come over and you cook us Blue Apron?
I thought about filming like a time lapse of myself, making like a Blue Apron meal. Like next time I have to do an ad read, like just setting up a couple of GoPros in my kitchen and just doing like a time lapse of whatever, like the 20, 30 minutes it takes to cook it all.
And then all of a sudden, you didn't do that.
I might do it still.
Are you gonna have a housewarming party at your house?
Considering I've been living there 3 years, I think that ship may have passed.
Just thought I'd check.
Wait, you moved 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Time flies.
It was July 2014. I moved like the week before RTX. Smart. It was not smart. It was terrible. It's one of the worst ideas. One of the worst things I've ever done in my life.
And you were still doing RTX.
Yeah, and that was before Bethany. BB.
BB?
Before Bethany.
Oh, all right. That makes sense.
B, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like one of the many people in your career that you've hired to replace.
to replace
your
myself.
job.
Yeah. Oh God, it's been great. This is so. Last year I was still very little involved in RTX. It was like almost nothing. But this year, like I really haven't done anything. It's been all Bethany. Like all the Let's Play Live stuff too. Like I did the first one in Austin. I helped quite a bit with the one in LA, and then after that, I've been hands off with that stuff.
You're like J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. I create a framework, then someone else can step
And
in.
then walk away as
Oh.
it crumbles behind you.
They announced another Cloverfield movie. Speaking of J.J. Abrams, so they said that God Particle is supposed to come out later this year. It's supposed to be the third Cloverfield movie, and that J.J. Abrams started work on the fourth Cloverfield movie, which is going to be a supernatural World War II movie
That sounds amazing.
about where like a squad of American soldiers before D-Day gets dropped in for the Normandy landing, and then like encounter like supernatural forces.
That's awesome.
it's
I mean, they
Captain
did. I think
America.
those paratroopers. That's right. That's what you call them, right?
It's paratroopers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that actually happens, or that actually happens. That'd be cool to.
You gonna watch
Add
that
another
new
element.
Nolan movie?
Dunkirk? Yeah, I really want to see that. I heard that there's a large portion of it that's 70 millimeter, like
Dude.
like 75% of it. I think
IMAX it up.
is 70 millimeter.
I've avoided looking at any trailer. I'm just gonna go see it.
Don't do trailers, man.
I wonder if Tom Hardy will be in it. That was a joke.
Will he?
Well, he's in all of the damn movies, isn't he?
Oh, I guess you're right.
Overlord is the name of the new movie, the fourth Cloverfield movie.
Oh, cool.
Like I think they just announced that this past week. Let's see. I'm trying to find the synopsis.
I guess, wait.
On the eve of D-Day, a group of American paratroopers are dropped behind enemy lines to carry out a mission crucial to the invasion's success. But as they approach their target, they begin to realize there is more going on in this Nazi-occupied village than a simple military operation.
What a lazy description. That was somebody who was tasked with writing the description that was just like, I don't want to do this.
They may not know either.
It's true.
Like, it may be like just trying to get as much information out as you can without actually knowing everything.
You play any Prey?
I stopped.
You stopped?
I played about 7 hours worth and I stopped. You're
playing,
still
playing what?
Prey?
Prey.
What's Prey?
It's
a space game.
yeah, it's like science fiction space game.
That sounds awesome.
They have it was really interesting at first, I thought, and they've got a great spacewalk mechanic in that game. Anytime you go to space, it's really cool. Like you can be, it's all about your velocity, right? Like you can be moving in one direction, looking in the other, and like still accelerating that way, and you have to worry about your rotation. It really takes into account all three dimensions. I think that was probably my favorite part of the game that I played.
I'm playing it side by side with Dan, and it's really interesting how two people can play the same game so differently. He's making like all kinds of different decisions, going to different places first, putting his neuromods in different slots. It's really interesting. He's playing it like a different game.
Mm-hmm.
He's going like all Typhon.
Okay,
Did you get to that?
I didn't do that. I went
he's
because I didn't want the turrets attacking me.
Yeah, he avoids turrets like the plague. He has to hack them to make him not shoot him.
Yeah. I rely on the turrets so much because I'm always like sneaking around, and I use the turrets to like cover me to make sure like nothing's sneaking up on me.
Turrets. I'm like beefing up my dude so I can like jump really high, run really fast, throw stuff really far.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like resurrecting humans as phantoms and stuff, and doing stuff that I can't even do. It's crazy.
So he's a bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's also playing on Xbox, and I made that comparison video where
That looked. So I played on Xbox, and mine did not look like that at all.
he rebooted it, and it was a lot better.
Okay.
I guess it was like some sort of memory leak in the Xbox, or he's got a shit hard drive. I don't know.
Yeah, mine was fine. Well, I mean, of course there are some. It's not as good as a PC, but it did not look anything like Dan's.
Yeah, he only had trouble in that one room because it's such a big open room.
That was so weird.
It was funny though. He was getting really annoyed.
I had a scary thing happen a few weeks ago. So I'm like really petrified of heights. And I feel it's weird when people say you're scared of heights. It's more like I'm scared of dying from like from really high up. And I was in Galveston and I went to this like little mini theme park. And they have this like pretty, what the fuck are you talking about? My phone is just like transcribing everything.
Read back what it said.
I was here they having a few weeks ago. I sound like really petrified of heights, and I feel if we will Sam's you're scared of heights, it's more like I'm scared of dying from fucking like really high up. And I was in Galveston and I went to this like a little mini theme park here. How about a web search for it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Fucking Amazon Nook, whatever it is.
I found this on the web for I was here they having a few weeks ago. I was like really petrified of heights, and I feel if we will Sam's you're scared of heights, it's more like I'm scared of dying from fucking like really high up. And I was in Galveston and I went to this like a little mini theme park here.
no results, huh? Weird.
Okay, you're at a theme park.
Yeah, so it's a really slow day. There's not that many people there, so I guess the people operating it were really bored. And there's a few things that are on my mind. Like I don't know if you guys remember a few months ago, this kid like died at Schlitterbahn in Kansas City.
Oh, right.
And like
Why?
I don't know. He sailed off. He sailed off the track. He sailed off the track and got decapitated.
Really?
Yeah.
At Slitterbahn?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Not
Yeah.
the one in New Braunfels.
Wait, what?
Not the one in New Braunfels.
What took his head off?
I think a net or something. It was a weight distribution
he had
thing.
become airborne off of the tube, and
Head came right off.
yeah.
The people, he was a very small kid, and there were two very large people he was riding with, and he was at the very front.
Yeah.
So the thing just, it just went crazy. So I guess the guy was like really bored, and there weren't that many people there. So we got in the very front of this pretty crazy roller coaster, and right before he sets it off, he turns to me and he says, "Hey, you forgot your seatbelt." And then he like launches it, and there's like 20 seconds where I'm looking down and desperately trying to find my fucking seatbelt. And I'm like, oh my God, where is it? And I'm like, I have to come to terms with my existence very quickly.
Let me guess.
Hold on extra hard.
There was no seatbelt.
There was no seatbelt. And that was fine.
That's
And
really
then I
good.
came back and I wasn't mad. I was like, "That well played, sir. That was very well played."
God, I would do shit like that all the time if I worked at a theme park.
Yeah, I mean the guys were pretty bored. That was probably the only highlight. I don't know if you guys been to Galveston, but there's not There's not much. I went to Moody Gardens, which was probably
in
like
a
the
weird
biggest
way,
waste of time.
that probably made the ride way better.
Yeah, it was fun.
Because
At
you
the
were
end
like,
of it, I
it was
like,
super
this is exhilarating.
intense.
Yeah.
Way more intense than normal roller coaster.
Yeah. It was fun. That was probably the only highlight. I would not recommend going to Galveston. Sorry to people who live in
I
Galveston.
don't
the Galveston
think I've been to
tourists.
Galveston in like 20 years. It's
Have you
been
been to- Did you ever go to Moody Gardens while you're there?
God, I don't remember. No.
What's the
I don't
reason
think
to
so.
go?
There is none.
We were just
Historical.
looking for a place to go.
It's on the beach.
Good beach.
Beach. No, it's a Texas beach.
It's like a trash beach.
Yeah.
They have to like fly in sand from out of town and put it on the beach.
When
From
I was-
LA,
when I was-
Yeah, from
like just
California,
like they're
I'm serious.
Mark Cuban was all about it.
When I was really young, before I moved out to the border, I lived in Texas City and Lamarck for a little while. And Texas City and Lamarck are like small towns close to Galveston. So when I was a little kid, when I was like 5, I used to go to the beach all the time. And it wasn't until I was much older, probably like 18 or so, that I realized beaches aren't supposed to be covered in tar.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
that's an unusual thing. 'Cause
Tar.
yeah, you just go and it's just like goops of tar.
Where
all
was this?
Over the beach. When I was like 83, 84.
What do you mean tar?
Like tar, like black, oily, sticky stuff.
But what's it from? Just oil.
Sure. I don't
From
know.
like an oil leak.
Yeah. It was just all over the beach all the time.
Where was this? Sorry, I missed that.
Galveston.
In Galveston?
Yeah.
it's
I
a
grew
trash
up-
beach.
I grew up with pebble beaches. A lot of the English beaches
That-
were just
that sounds-
there was no sand, it was just stone.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's what it would look like.
Oh, they're like jellyfish.
yeah, normally it was covered in a lot more sand since it was sticky. But yeah, it would just be like that everywhere. I mean, like that's actually what I remember it looking like all the time.
Yeah, I
That's
think
so weird. Have you ever been to a volcanic beach? Where
No.
the sand's black?
No.
It's really hot.
I've been to
Really
white.
uncomfortable.
I've been to White Sands in New Mexico. I don't know if you've ever been there. That sand, conversely, obviously, is really cool. It's weird, and it's beautiful. If you've never been there, it's really surreal to like walk out there and just see it everywhere.
But
and everywhere.
Audience, what's your
eyes.
favorite kind of
You
sand?
gotta wear
really
sunglasses.
bright,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
really bright.
we went to Tulum, and instead of staying at a place on the beach, we stayed at a place on the rocks, which is kind of nice because you're right over the water. So it has it's you can hear the ocean. It's really cool, and I kind of realized like I'm a big sand guy. I don't like sand. I don't want to go to a beach.
All right,
I don't want to go to the
Anakin.
beach. I don't lie on it. What's that?
I said, all right, Anakin.
He hates the sand.
Oh, I don't
It's
remember.
episode 1.
That's episode 2.
Was that it 2?
Oh, probably because he's a slave on Tatooine.
Very good.
I was
Yeah,
not
it's
a slave
rough.
on Tatooine.
Course, and it gets everywhere.
Yeah.
Now,
And the ocean. I don't fuck with the ocean. I don't know why anybody wants to go in the ocean. We are not meant to be in the ocean. We specifically left the ocean.
Did you see that video of that sea lion grabbing that girl?
Yeah, that was
No.
awesome.
Oh, I did. That
We should
was
play
like
Yeah, it's
that's
like
super intense.
this little girl's like sitting on a dock. And like she sits with her back to the water, and this sea lion, she's got like this loose white dress on, and the sea lion just jumps up out of the water, grabs her dress, and then just pulls her right into the water.
Oh my God.
She's okay. They got her out.
Yeah, like her grandfather jumped in immediately.
And
Why?
And,
Why did it
and she
attack?
got a great story out of it, and it's a cool video.
From what I heard
Very
is
cool
there's
video.
signs everywhere at the dock that say "Do not feed the sea lions," and they
Oh.
were feeding the sea lions, and people speculate that it probably thought she was a bird or a piece of food or something, and just reached up and grabbed her and pulled her in.
Yeah,
yeah,
or
it's a good
she was
story.
holding back on the food.
It's a good icebreaker for her the rest of her life.
Dan the other day was watching that guy eating the dog food or the cat food, was it?
Oh, the dog food.
He found it independently. I didn't tell him about it, and I was like, "Oh, Gus is watching that." Last night, he just remembered that video and was laughing, like rolled over backwards, laughing for about
The
5
video was
minutes.
so
What is
stupid.
it? What is it?
The guy testing out different brands of dog food.
He's like trying to taste test to see if expensive dog food tastes better than cheap dog food.
And then he's eating it
And
himself.
he's eating it and vomiting the whole time.
I knew it.
And at the end, when he's the expensive one, he's like vomiting. He's like, I knew it. It tastes like shit too. It's not worth the extra money.
And it's really violent vomit too.
It's so
like
gross.
spewing
Yeah, it's
hard.
not like he's not faking it. It's not like, oh, he was hiding. No, he is vomiting.
God, vomit's funny.
Oh,
this
is
is
this
that.
this is the girl?
Does she not see it? Or is she trying to get close?
Whoa!
Oh my gosh.
It's so fast.
I know.
You gotta appreciate a dude who just jumps to save.
I know. I thought I was like, he didn't even take out his cell phone.
No,
Yeah.
Right. iPhone 7, waterproof.
Ooh.
It's-
But you don't
well,
know that he had an iPhone, so
Yeah.
That's why you don't fuck with the ocean, man.
I,
You
I,
seen penguins in the water? penguins are cute when you see them on land. Then you see them in the water, like that's terrifying. They're like little missiles. I'm not gonna risk. I'm not gonna risk going in the water in the Arctic.
So who is this on Twitter? Brackish Midget tweeted us a photo of Anakin Skywalker on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's funny.
I think early today I saw this super weird GIF. It was like insects. I think bees mating.
Oh right.
And usually, with insects or a lot of other animals, you worry that it's really rough and not fun for everybody. But like the male bee, like will put his antennas out and like caress the antennas of the female bee. It's like actually it's like very.
Oh, there it is.
Look, it's
Oh, wow! They're like play some Barry White.
Or he's grabbing her. It's like he's grabbing her ears or something.
no. He's just trying to be like hey baby. It's like
He's pulling her hair.
Yeah.
I feel
That's
like
cool.
yeah, it's a good model for humans.
Have you ever
It's
seen-
just like a reminder to be
Rub her
like-
antenna, according to Brandon. It's a good model for humans.
yeah, like like treat her, be sensual.
B.
Be-
Have you ever seen slugs, Shag?
no.
It's pretty gross.
Can we
Like
see that?
hang-
Is
they,
anyone
like,
in the
hang off
control
a
room pull up
tree
some
and-
slug fuck?
Like a slug dick.
Let me read this before we go down that road any further. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by the underwear I was wearing that I had backwards were MeUndies. I had their design of the month was like a pizza one, and I had their pizza underwear on.
What?
I like pizza.
How does that work?
What do you mean?
What does it look like?
It looks like cheese and pepperoni and
Yum.
crust.
Mmm.
You can check it out.
Get the
MeUndies.com.
Mmm.
ladies,
Sounds
get
yum.
the guys in the mood. There's a pizza on. Let's let that one go. Let's control room cut that.
Yeah, that's not going to make it to the final version. Did you all find slugs? Are they not looking? I hope they're not looking.
I found a video called "Amazing Slug Sex."
Yeah, they sort of like intertwine and
Oh, they
stuff
Oh
found it.
and
yeah,
hang knob.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, isn't that cool? They just do it in the air instead of
Yeah, and they're
West-
connected.
like
They're
Is
like.
the other one just watching?
the other one's like.
That's like the
guys,
voyeur
could
slug.
Can you get a room?
I'm in friend zoned.
And
they're
stay-
like hanging by like goo.
Yeah, I
right?
think they hang off goo and they drip goo and
How-
the penises come out and like rub all over each other.
Yeah,
Well, it's not two penises, is it?
because they're non like.
I think they both have all of it. and they
Yeah,
just
they're
rub it
both
all.
male and female. They're just kind of got it all.
Really?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I
And they
learned-
just I don't know who picks who.
Hermaphrodite slugs?
We need to reclassify this podcast as educational
Exactly.
because I just learned something.
Yeah.
I also heard there was an explosion in Manchester, which is awful.
I did not
Really?
hear about
Just
that.
now?
Did that just
Yeah.
happen?
Manchester Arena.
Really?
Oh no!
People have died.
Oh.
What?
Be safe if you're in Manchester. It's just popped up on BBC.
You still use the BBC for news?
Yeah.
Manchester
Do you-
Arena. Yeah.
Do you feel how do you feel like BBC is on American politics?
They cover it
their
pretty well.
perspective.
Well, BBC's weird because it's not like it's government funded of the UK. So
Gotcha.
it's not really allowed to be biased in any way.
Well,
I think-
that's good, but it's yeah. So but even in the US though, like how does it? Yeah, what's the slant on US politics?
Like in politics?
Yeah,
That's Trump's a prick, I think is the
is
You should check out. I think The Economist is based in the UK. Like they have a pretty interesting way of looking at and evaluating like American politics culture. I remember they reported on the like 2004 Super Bowl halftime show where Janet Jackson's boob came out, but it had like the tassel. But they didn't report that it happened. They report that the American media censored it instead of just showing for what happened, like, live. And it's not like a bare nipple. There was like a tassel on it.
It wasn't a tassel. It was like a metal.
Sure. I'm not sure what you call it.
ring,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. A tassel has stuff hanging on
it
it.
was a nip cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they
Nipple
weren't so
clamp.
much this
It was
would
like
happen,
It looked
but
like the sun, kind of. It was like a circle and had like rays coming out from it.
Would you have censored it?
No. The interesting thing about that, I don't know if I've ever told you this. Right that day, when the Super Bowl, I watched that Super Bowl live. That was the first time I'd ever used my TiVo. It was the first thing I was ever recording with my TiVo, and it happened. And I was like, "Was that her nipple? Let me find out." Rewind. Like it was. That's why I remember. Yeah, that's why I remember specifically what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, you can actually see her nipple. Though.
Oh, so it's just
I don't
around
know.
like the nub of the nipple.
Yes.
It's definitely
So,
not nipple though.
yeah, their article was about how no, like, new media coverage would show that. So it's definitely like a kind of from afar binocular.
What was the explanation of that? Just that was a part of the bit, or it was an accident?
So they claim it was an accident.
She just wears that under there at all times.
I don't know.
All right.
I think he just grabbed like the entire, instead of like grabbing the front, which I guess was collapsible, like the front flap, he grabbed like the entire,
The cup or something.
the entire cup. And people freak the fuck out for no good reason.
Because of a nipple that was on screen for like a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even like the image we just looked at, I don't think that was from the broadcast. I think that was a still image.
Oh, because the broadcast blurred it.
Right, well,
yeah.
also,
Oh, no. I mean, I think there was a,
in 04 it was live, but it probably wasn't even HD.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Wasn't it one of the first things that people were using YouTube for, to see that clip?
I think it might have been
Back in the
that,
day.
yeah. Well, the first thing I remember really getting big on YouTube was Lazy Sunday, that SNL,
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
SNL digital short. I feel like people watch that like crazy.
well, I think YouTube launched in 05, and the Super Bowl thing was like January 04, I think. So I don't know. I remember like the Daily Show was huge on YouTube. Like it was basically like YouTube was Viacom, pre-Viacom shows, like Comedy Central stuff, like
So
Red versus Blue.
the first HD Super Bowl was actually in January 2000. Super Bowl 34, the Rams and the Titans.
Oh wow.
Who could watch it in HD?
Probably no one.
Because even now, it's like it's not in 4K. You can't watch
No.
the Super Bowl in 4K.
I think they film it in 4K, but they don't broadcast it in 4K.
I'd never understood that.
Well, NFL Films is actually really good about filming stuff and archiving their footage.
So it's all just future proofing.
Right, they're probably future proofing for future like compilations and use and resale
that's
down the
smart.
road.
That's smart.
Is
Yeah.
there 4K content through TV providers like through Uverse or Time Warner or satellite? I know obviously it's
I don't know.
online like with Netflix and stuff, but
That's a really good question. I don't know.
yes, I don't know if the technology is there yet because
Well, I mean,
sports is still
American-
tied to cable, and that might change. But like, there's a lot ESPN and the NFL can't do that they would want to do online because they're so tied to like
Terrestrial.
cable subscribers.
American TV, and you may not realize this having just only had American TV, it's dog shit
How so?
in quality.
Oh yeah, it's
Like, it's like, none of it's 1080p even. It's
If
like
it's-
1080i. If it's satellite, you can get full 1080p. Nobody has that. Most people just have cable.
I think mine. No, you're right. Yeah.
I try and watch-
The worst is Time Warner, now Spectrum. I've never used them as Spectrum, but when I had Time Warner, their fucking quality was garbage.
Yeah, most of it's all standard def. Even if you watch HD, like some of the ads are in like a tiny box in the middle of the screen. It's like, why not just full? I just don't
And
understand
it's
it.
so
And it looks-
compressed, it's blocky.
Yeah,
It looks
and-
fucked up.
And because of the resolution, if there's like a still frame of like a brick house,
it's all fucked
the
up.
pixels are trying to decide like which brick they're on. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's like
bad compression.
Yeah.
yeah. So if something's live on TV, I would deliberately wait for the on demand just so it doesn't look just compression-y and garbage. I don't know why people aren't more annoyed about it.
I think
Because I'm
the-
used to like satellite TV, like
think-
Sky.
I think
and
the
it looks
antenna-
great.
I think the antenna broadcasts look pretty good.
Antenna
like
broadcast,
that to me, like that's
But there's not much on that though,
best.
is there?
You
No,
get like
well,
a network and that's it. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of sports on it, but
Have you talked about net neutrality recently?
I've
Oh.
tweeted about it. I haven't talked about it in the podcast in a while.
I've tweeted. Yeah.
oh, before Patrick mentioned some news stations still shoot in 480 and upres to 1080. I think the Time Warner cable news station does
Do they?
that.
Dirty little RTX secret. Our some of our cameras are 480 that use scalers to upres for the stream.
Filth.
It works. It looks okay though. Like in those instances, it works okay. Like I've looked at side by side. You're like, okay, the scaler does a good job. It looks fine.
Do you remember when you were trying to get security cameras that we could use footage from, and it was
Yeah.
almost impossible to get HD ones?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you're like, we
But-
should just.
Did you see there was that video a couple of weeks ago of that guy robbing a Jimmy John's restaurant? And that was like the highest quality security camera footage I've ever seen.
Was it a
Really?
Nest or something?
I don't know what. No, it was like it was
actual
a
CCTV?
commercial CCTV. I'll see if I can find the video. But it was like I can see everything in this video. This video is awesome.
Oh, that's cool. I also saw that Dell now have a commercial 8K monitor that you can buy. It's like $5,000. Thing is insane. Oh, is this the video?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Aspect ratio is weird.
It's a 4:3, I think.
Yeah,
But yeah, they look a little tall.
it's like HD 4:3, which is weird.
Yeah. They're probably, I mean, they're really capturing right there all they really care about. I mean, it's probably just as much to monitor the employee and the cash drawer as it is the customer right in front. Like, they don't care about everything else.
So wait, what's happening right now? Are they gonna fight her?
The guy's gonna rob
The
him.
guy's
in-
about
in a
to rob
second.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so recent.
This is the one where the guy just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's crazy because like, it wasn't too long ago. You just had VHS tapes.
Do you think that's loaded? The way he's got his finger on the trigger,
I think it is. But
I feel like
see-
he would be an insane person to hold it like that.
look how you can see the silver on the tip of the gun.
Holy shit.
When he cocked it, you can see the bullets coming out of the chamber. He already had a bullet in there, and when he pulled the slide back, it did not eject properly because of his hand, so the bullets jammed in there.
Oh.
So the gun's jammed.
So he was like one finger away from blowing that guy's head off.
No, the gun's jammed. It probably wouldn't fire. It might be able to fire like that, but it probably couldn't fire.
There was
That guy was incredibly cool.
Yeah, that's how it was posted. It was like the guy just is so
Does
calm.
not care.
There was somebody in Central Texas that was just tried for.
At the very end, we cut away before here. Sorry, you can see like from off camera, he tosses his gloves into the trash can.
Nailed it.
He's like, yep, time to put a new pair on.
I'm gonna go work somewhere else.
There's a guy who was tried recently for robbery with a deadly weapon, and his defense tried to get that charge reduced to just robbery.
Okay.
But the prosecution said no, it's going to be robbery with a deadly weapon. But they were using like airsoft guns, and I'm not sure they were actually loaded. And the defense team actually went up there and said, "We are guilty of robbery. We robbed these convenience stores." We being like the defendant, but we did not rob them with a deadly weapon. It was an airsoft gun. So the guy got acquitted,
that's
and like the
bullshit.
jury said, "Look, we would have convicted if it was just robbery, but based on how the law is written and our interpretation of it,
That is bullshit.
it is not. It was not robbery with a deadly weapon."
It's how they didn't take the weapon out and tell people it's an airsoft. Don't worry. If they intimidate you and make you think it's a deadly weapon, it's a deadly weapon.
I don't know. I mean, I don't
But
know what
could
the
they have
actual
killed-
like the letter of the law is there, but I
Yeah,
mean, like
it's-
that's how the case ended up working out.
I don't know.
I'm sure
What if
through
it's
the-
a plastic knife?
But it's
And it's
the
not with
intent
a deadly
behind
weapon.
it. Like it's not. They're not threatening you with a plastic knife. They're threatening you with a knife. It's whether or not you don't know that.
Yeah,
You
the
think
only
you can
difference
die.
there is
But-
the gun's not illegal, but it's still
Yeah,
the
but
same
the thing is,
crime.
like no one. There's not the danger of death.
You don't know that in the moment if you're
But
the one.
don't.
being
I
robbed.
don't know
I-
if
yeah,
that's how
but-
the statute is written, though.
Yeah, but that's
Like I
what
guess I
it
could
should
look it
be.
up.
You could also shoot someone in the eye with airsoft, and it could kill him. Just go straight
Have
through.
you ever
into
had
the brain.
dreams where you rob banks and stuff?
I
Yeah,
keep
all
having-
the time. Tell me about yours.
No, I mean, I feel like it's always like that moment where I'll rob a bank or something in a dream. It'll be like a movie, and I'll be like,
You're actually doing it though.
yeah, it'll be like I'm like caught up in a bad way.
I always dream like my dream starts like after I've killed someone,
Yeah,
and I'm like, why did I do that?
it's that kind of
And
thing.
I don't remember
It'll
doing
be like
it.
I'll be
I'm
like
"Oh my
mid bank
God."
robbery. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I robbing this bank? What? I've just screwed myself, and I didn't even bring a real
Yeah.
weapon. I brought an airsoft gun.
So
You
all,
never-
all of my dreams are like me trying to come to terms with the fact that my life is over,
Yeah, Yeah,
and then by the time I wake up, I'm like, oh, that was obviously a dream.
yeah.
Go back to sleep.
Well, does it make you feel better about your life now? You're like, yeah.
Well, yeah, I just don't like having these dreams where I've just committed
It's
some
just
awful
stress.
crime.
It's just stress.
I don't understand like the heroes, the people who play hero, like the cashiers or the clerks at banks. Like if somebody came in and was like, "I'm robbing you," and it was some business that I didn't own, I'd be like, "Here you go."
Yeah, everyone I believe should be trained to do that.
Even
That's
if
how
you
they're
did
trained.
own it,
but
there's
I
insurance.
think it's just like some people react that way when they're, confronted with a deadly weapon. It's like that fight or flight kind of
Yeah.
mentality where they're like,
What if they fight and they're like, oh wait, this is an airsoft. Never mind. Oh.
yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like that people adrenaline and like someone comes to the thing, you're like, ah.
Well, I think it's different if you're trying to like save someone's life. But if it's just a thing of like this person wants money
They get
from
angry.
some rich dude,
They're just angry that
then here,
it's just it's like adrenaline and anger.
I guess.
That's all it takes.
My first
Adrenaline
reaction.
and anger?
Yeah. You ever been in a fight?
Yeah.
No.
Thumped someone once.
You thumped someone once?
Yeah.
What is
I was like there were like 20 people fighting in this pub, and someone was like choking my friend, so I just like shoved the
Give
back of his head,
You thumped. Yeah.
just thumped, trying to get him to let go, and then I legged it.
Yeah. What, Brandon? Who'd you fight?
I'm pretty sure it was in Daycare.
Oh,
Daycare's
that-
rough. No,
okay, all
no,
right.
Daycare is rough. You do not know. I didn't go
No.
to some like fancy
was
French
Compton
daycare.
daycare.
it was
No.
rough.
I want to hear the story about the bar fight now. I don't want to hear about Brandon's daycare fight.
I kind of want to hear about it.
Did you get an owie?
I mean, I got
Or is it a boo-boo?
the first time. There's a few. I got like
What fucking daycare did you go to?
black eye.
So you got a black eye?
Yeah.
In daycare?
Yeah, no, I'm telling you.
What
I'm
did you
sure there's a
do?
lot of people who can. I mean, kids are bored. You don't have a lot of stuff to play with.
So
You
you
got
play
loads of
with
stuff to
punching
play
eye?
with.
What?
Yeah, it's like prison. Violence is like what entertains people. I mean, it's you don't
full
have
of toys.
shanks, but like, I mean, you're at daycare for like 12 months out of the year. Over the course of like, I don't know how many years of your life, stuff's gonna happen. You know, it's not often, but you know, there's a
What
few
happened?
times.
Do you know?
No, I can't remember. It was probably just some trash talk, and then some kid got pissed and then
Trash
punched me
talk,
in the
some
eye.
daycare trash talk.
And then there was another, and my parents were proud of me the first time. And then there was another time where I came out ahead and punched a kid in the lip. And I didn't have a black eye. My parents were not happy. But, you know, kids get in fights in daycare.
Were you ever? in
I
a
wasn't
fight
an
in daycare?
asshole. Like, I wasn't a bully.
I've
but
never known anyone who got in a fight.
I never
in
got in a
daycare.
fight daycare. I do remember.
Anybody
Wait,
out there in the studio here? No one.
I do
Anyone
remember.
been in a fight in daycare? Oh, one? No. Okay, no.
He raised
No,
his
where
hand
did
to
you
say
guys,
no.
how many of you guys went to daycare for like years? Really? And no,
You're the only one, Brandon. Don't act like
One
it's a
time,
normal
and
thing.
I remember to this day. I remember I was playing in the playground, and we were playing around, and I like headbutted a girl in the stomach, but it was an accident, and I felt really, really
How
bad.
did you headbutt her in the stomach?
We were just like, I don't know,
How
like
was it an accident?
it was an accident. Like we were just like running around the thing, and somehow I ended up. I think I like went down a slide. I feel like it was a slide. There was momentum, and I like hit her in the stomach with my head, and then I felt she started crying, and I felt really bad. I don't think that counts as a fight.
you should ask Meg. She went to the same daycare as I did.
If it was like a rough daycare.
If she remembers, yeah.
Well, hey, what would happen if you'd like? What would
Yeah,
happen
you
if
know.
you'd like punched Meg as a child? Like you
I
got in a.
didn't hit a girl. I'm not.
So were you there at the same time?
I don't think
You're the same
so.
age, aren't you?
Yeah, we went to the same daycare in the same elementary school. I think we were at the elementary school at the same time, but I don't know about daycare.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I'll
really
ask her.
random.
I'll ask her if she had some owies or boo-boos.
So, last thing I want to talk. We're going to wrap up here pretty soon. I don't think I've told Chris this yet, but I've been trying to force myself to rewatch the Star Wars prequels lately. I don't think I'd seen them since they came out in theater.
Uh-huh.
Fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So bad.
You watched them
I-
on Blu-ray?
Streaming through iTunes. I can't sit through an entire film at once. Like I have to watch like 15 minutes. Like, okay, that's enough. Like step away.
you not
You
just
have
drink
to
more
have
and keep going?
you need to have a hobby.
yeah, something else going on.
Like you have to be an arts and crafts
Yeah.
person.
I've
Like,
only done Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I can't bring
Which
myself
is
to
the
revisit
well,
worst
you
the
made it
prequel.
through. You made it through. You know, the third one's the best of the three.
Like I forgot that in Attack of the Clones, they don't even get to like the fight on Geonosis until like an hour and 45 minutes into the movie. It's like an hour and 45 minutes of love scenes on Naboo and fucking finding the cloners and
Yeah, and there's some rough performances. Like I remember a scene with Ewan McGregor and some like slug chef. And they're
no,
like
no.
Yeah.
trying to be chummy, but it looks like Ewan McGregor, like Obi-Wan is like hitting or flirting with the slug. And I'm just like, is there like a romantic past there or history? And then like his scene with Christopher Lee, like they're both like, these are such good actors and these performances are so terrible.
it's so bad. It's almost funny.
Well, bad writing. You can't. There's nothing you can do with it.
Yeah.
Didn't Carrie Fisher punch up the scripts?
Of the
thought-
prequels?
I thought she did
Yeah.
punch
she
ups
did
for
the ones that she was in.
Force Awakens. I know. I don't
She
know
didn't do the
about
prequels?
I don't think she did the prequels. Yeah. Anyway, it's bad.
yeah.
I've been trying to get through
Slug.
because after like May the 4th, after Star
me
Wars
look it up.
Day,
You'll
everyone
remember
replays like episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
It's like I want to rewatch 1, 2, and 3. So it's been 18 days, and I've watched 2 of them. I can't bring myself to do it.
It's rough.
Are you excited about the new one?
I am. I'm ready. I want to see a proper trailer for it, not just this teaser.
Don't watch the trailer.
I'm gonna watch it. Fuck you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll do what I want. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you're watching live on Monday, stay tuned for CCTV. Couch Hop is doing their first ever podcast right after us. It's right there on the cock
Do you
block.
think they'll burn their set down on the first episode?
I gotta go to their podcast now and break something that they like. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.